Start, start, and start. All right, let me check in. What's up? What am I getting blasted over here? Let's see here. All right, got a little bit of light here. We should be live. This is the Sam Crescent Art Show. Let me check in on the streams. And yes, we are live on YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. Not YouTube, Twitch. So I'm live on Twitch. Let's see. Are we live on Kick? Yeah, looks like it. Let me see here. Refresh this. Yep. We're live on Kick. YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. I gotta hit that go live button over on Facebook and should be live on Facebook pretty soon here. Says it's starting. Let's go check. Oh, yep, live on Facebook and Rumble. Let's see what's happening on Rumble. Yeah, we're live on Rumble. Welcome to the stream. This is the Sam Crescent Art Show. I go live almost every day. However, I have not been live in 2 weeks. Something like that. It's been a while. What happened to me? Where did I go? Family summer vacation is what happened. I'll explain it as I get warmed up. Gonna get started with some Bridgman. Got the drawing study over here, and that is from Bridgman's Book of 100 Hands. And let's start doing, I believe I've done these three. We're gonna do these two here. And man, I can feel the ring rust. It's been a while. So you got to get warmed up, and I'm going to go big with the shape and start trying to get this in. I'm drawing this one here first. I got it there so you can see the reference. You could study the reference yourself. You could try to draw along if you wanted to. Or you cannot do anything. I don't really care. Whatever you want. Here's the situation. I went up to Montana. My sister has a cabin up there. She's had that cabin for a very long time. And went up there. It's on a lake. It's a lot of fun. And we spent a week and a half, about a week, more than a week, in Montana. From there, we went to, drove over to Washington State, which is drive across Idaho from Montana, and you'll end up in Washington. And we drove over to Enumclaw, which is just about 45 minutes outside of Seattle. Out in the country, but it is not too country anymore. In my opinion, Enumclaw has become very, very crowded. A lot of cars out there now, a lot of people out there. A lot of it has been really built up, and it's not the country living anymore, in my opinion. Although the houses are still far apart. The parcels of land are still large. Prices are extremely expensive there. It's just turned into something different. But I digress. We were in Enumclaw and that whole area, King County out there. And which I believe Seattle is also part of King County. But anyway, we were out there visiting my wife's family for several days. Had a great time doing that. Got to see them all. And so we went and saw everybody there. And then after that, we went to we drove down to Oregon on our way to the state and national red forests in Northern California. drove across Oregon, stopped in Roseburg, camped there on a river, and then we went from there to that was just an overnight. Next day, went through Grants Pass down to the park. Spent several days in the Redwoods, thoroughly enjoyed it. After that, drove down to Santa Cruz, saw the Santa Cruz Boardwalk and features there. Just spent a night and a day in Santa Cruz. Next day was Monterey. Never seen Monterey before. Got to see that. It was pretty cool. And then after that, we went to we crossed Big Sur, which was amazing. Big Sur is incredible. If you haven't seen it, it is incredible. Landed over by Hearst Castle, went to Hearst Castle, and then made our way back home. So that was pretty much the whole deal. So this is this drawing here, and what we're looking at is the metacarpals here. And I think these are the phalanges, and this is the, I forget the name of this muscle now, the interosseous muscle. And so Bridgman's showing us the structure here that's underneath this. So now I'm going to do this drawing because I haven't done that one. I did do a few lives in Montana. I can pull up my chat, ninja chat thing. Maybe I will. Got down. Let me adjust the volume so it doesn't kill me. All right. I was able to do a few lives in Montana. Got access to a Starlink out there. And that was interesting. It just worked okay. It was a lot of interruptions. The download speeds on Starlink are much better than the uploads. I'm just going to film my way through this hand a little bit first and see here. I just kind of contour it out. Where we end up. And that's probably gives me enough of a trajectory to start on it. The most prominent form in this Bridgman drawing of this hand is this thumb. So I'll get that going. Yeah, so I think I got to look up the mechanics more of how Starlink works, but I believe what it does is it kind of passes you off from satellite to satellite as, you know, you're moving and the satellites are moving across the sky. And so when you're getting passed off, I think there's like there's some interruption there. You wouldn't probably notice it when you're downloading something because it would buffer out and you'd never be able to tell. But when you're uploading, you absolutely notice it. So it's not the greatest thing for doing live streams. I did get through them. They cut out a lot, but they did work. You know, the videos were up there, and I could only go live to one platform. It wouldn't work to multiples. There's no way. So I just did Twitch. I'm still waiting to hear back from TwitchCon if I got in. I really hope I did, but I have a feeling that I did not. They're already pushing the sales, ticket sales, to try to get people to attend TwitchCon, but I want to vend at TwitchCon. There's a makers area, and I very much hope that I can get into that space. I go live on Twitch all the time, well, every day now that I'm back. I was live streaming every day for 80 something days almost consecutively, and I'm building out the infrastructure, so eventually I'll have my own Starlink in my van, and then there'll be, even when I'm on the road or whatever, I'd be able to live stream from there as long as I can get access to some open sky. There's still more infrastructure that needs to be in place to do that. It's not as simple as just having a van and having a Starlink, but I'm building out the infrastructure of my van so that I can be a little more comfortable and a little more efficient with all the travels that I do to various markets, conventions, shows, and such. The other show that I have applied for was Keep It Real. That's in November, and that was a show that I was in for 2 years in a row. I had record sales there. I had many people tell me I was one of the favorite vendors. Numerous people told me I was one of the most original vendors there, that I had the most unique work of everybody there. And then they didn't let me in last year. They sold their show out, and apparently I applied too late. I never saw the notification. Was very disappointed about it. It was a lot of money that I was not able to make. This time I applied the second day after they made the announcement. So I really hope that they let me back in, but I don't know. You can't really trust these shows. They don't, as a artist, you might have some kind of I don't know what you call it, loyalty to them, but they don't have it to you. So, you gotta see what you can do. It's just kind of the way it is. Yeah, I think I might be making another mistake. There's another show that I'm going to be doing called Cartoon Palooza. It's very inexpensive. It's right by my house, so it's not far travel. But I missed the big Monster Mall event because of it, and it was kind of disappointing because I think I would earn really big revenue at the Monster Mall event. But I already registered for Cartoon Palooza, so I was like, I'm gonna just show up there. But now I'm not seeing that promoter do anything to let people know about the event. Like, I haven't seen any they're not posting on their social media. I'm not seeing, I have no idea if they're doing any advertising or what. So I kind of not too hopeful. Luckily, it was only like a very small fee for the table. So if I sell just like a couple stickers, that'll be fine. Let's see here. What do we got? Yeah, just in there. And that's all he's really done. Mostly this drawing here, he's leaving all that unresolved because it's predominantly about the structure of this thumb here is what he wants you to see. It's like a nail, fingernail right there. Okay, let's see. That's probably enough warm up for today. Let me get the what are we looking at here? There we go. All right. I said no. Book of the 100 Hands. I'm on page. I just finished page 106. So next is 108. Let's. Let's see here. What's going on? I want to go to. That's that. What's this? Nothing. Why is this up here? What is that? Well, it looks like this is what we're at. Maybe it's a little bigger here. And I don't understand this taskbar up here that's been... What the heck? Just happened to what I was working on. It's like non-movable. It's pretty annoying. Oh, there we go. It's a pretty annoying taskbar. I don't want to do that. All right. I got to get some progress made with this, adjusting these colors and adding texture and such. So I'm doing panel. What am I doing here? Okay, I don't need that. We're eliminating panel borders. All right, so here's where we're at with this. So I gotta fix this bra. All right. Yeah, I gotta refine my bearings on this page because it's been a while since I've been working on it. And we've got to get it done. If I go to the flats, let's see what we can select. It seems that it's not anything. I don't know. It's what? Okay, that's very weird. Okay. You go there. And let's put some noise on this and get it so it doesn't look so weird. So it was like all shiny looking and stuff. It was bothering me. That's better. Let's see here. Thanks. Perfect. All right. Let's see what we're dealing with here. All right, this is like really bright. Figure out why that's so bright. There we go. See, is that highlighting anything else? Bunch of stuff. So let's at least layer it so I know it's like highlights of things. And let's put a soft eraser on this and just kind of pull it down a little bit so it's not, you don't have all this glowing type stuff. Go back to this. Okay, so for some reason, there's no color on there. All right, so somewhere there's something interfering with that. If I just go up here, do that. Now there's something on the clasp. Let's make it more this color. All right, there we go. So that's not that great. Let's try the linear dodge. I just want some kind of a noise here. Let's try this. That would work. Smaller. I know it's not really affecting it much. Let's get it on here. I just gotta break this up some. This is like, this doesn't look good. Knock this in a little bit. Go down here to this multiply layer. Get something real dark. Get some texture on this thing, man. I'm gonna make another layer, and I'm gonna go with Oops. Something more aggressive like this, analog ink. There, and then let's just dial that opacity down a little bit. Now we've got some better modeling on that. Looks a bit better. Maybe you need to make it a little more tan. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it for now, but it does look a little too close in color to him. That's weird too. Let's see. Do it like a dark red, and then putting a color hold on this. There. Let's do all of it. There we go. I think that's it for that panel. I don't think I need to do anything more there. This panel needs all kinds of stuff. Texture-wise. Let's go with there's all this that needs to be done still too. Let's find out where the line art is. All right, it's right there. And it's been alpha locked, so let's get these lines here. Okay, then let's get a dark green for the outline of this bush that he's fallen into. That's pretty cool. All right. Now, let's go with now we need to get some kind of a texture on this again. And I'm going to leave the overall lighting. It looks okay. But let's select these objects. And we'll texture this bush first. And I'll just do that up here in this rendering panel. And this we're going to label Dodge. So I just know that that's what that is. Hit a type of noisy brush. I'm going to be, keep saying I'm going to be out of Photoshop, but I really am actually going to be out of it soon. Go. And we'll kind of erase it in a little so there's some gradation to it. Okay, and then we've got normal layer, we've got a multiply here, so we'll say dark. Let's just pick a color here. Get the same kind of thing. Now we've got some noise on this bush that's a little more interesting. Knock it down a little bit right there. And make sure I got some on the leaves. All right, that's better. Now I want to put some stuff in this background. So got that selected. Go up here and let's do maybe a big dark splatter effect or something. I'm just thinking about this. And when it's animated, I'm actually going to go here. Now, we'll go. Yeah. Take that off. That way we've got this whole background will be separate. So this will be panel it doesn't matter actually. I'm gonna merge these together. Multiply. We can use a green color, it's fine. We don't want that. We want movement going up there, and then we'll erase in, and then let's take the actual blue and let's go with splatter. There, that's pretty cool. And then we'll give that a gradation there. And then let's get a light color here. So we'll go here and we'll make this an add layer. Put this on like a light. See what that, yeah, there we go. Now we've got this kind of white breaking in. And let's erase this back because this is really overpowering. There. And that's pretty cool. Now we've got something happening there. A lot better. I should do a similar effect on this. So let me figure out where I did that. Right there. So let's merge all this together. This is going to be panel 3 background. That's important for later when it's animated. Now I want to find that. It's not here. There's nothing even in there. Okay, so let's put all this stuff in there. So at least and this is just going to be rendering. More rendering I did. Texture. Light stuff. Dark. Those are the bras. Cell shading, highlights. More rendering. Flats. All right. Panel 2. Background. Okay, so that's good to know. Now let's Do that. Set it to dodge. This is not doing anything. Ah, because this is selected. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so now we get it, man. Yeah, this is cooler. It kind of breaks this. Break into that a little bit more there. Looks better. And then we'll kind of massage it. There we go. All right, I'm going to switch this to probably something else. Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay, so it's blending with that. So what I got to do is go here, marquee this up, hit this to a white. There we go. Now merge the three of these together. We got panel 3 background. All right, so that's better. Let's erase this a little bit here. All right. I want to clean this up because it's just bothering me. So let's clean that up. Should be about there. Now where is that? That's in here. So now where else should we have an issue? No. Oh, that was turned off. Okay, what else is not? Still stuff that's not been fixed. It's in here. And there's still some stuff here that I gotta find and fix. Not that. It's in here. Okay. It's locked. Let's unlock that. All right, and then we got the line art still. Okay, That edge is clean. I need to go around this whole panel and fix it. And then I've got the first 3 panels done, except this orange, you can't see it. So let's see if we can fix that, make it more of a red orange. And that'll be more noticeable. If I do that. There, maybe. Over here, I think it needs to be even maybe a darker. Or do we need to go something like this so we can see what's happening here? It's better. I'm going to leave this one more of that orange color. Now, what I'll do is tomorrow we'll tackle this panel, which is actually pretty decent. There's not much that needs to be done there. So let's just finish off. So these first 3 panels are a wrap. Let's just finish off cleaning up the edges on this one here. And I'm going to go over here. At the same time. All right. Let's see what we got here. Hit down line art. I don't have to be as careful, so I'm just going to go through and delete it. Looks like we're almost there. We got where is this? Found it. All right, that's great. So now we've got a clean panel there. So that's going to be panel 1, 2, and 3 done. And tomorrow I'll finish panel 4 on this page. You got to go to the animation project, save this up. All I got to do is just make a little progress every day. And it will get us through. Or get us through. I got to eat this breakfast sandwich. I haven't eaten yet today. All right. Close this one. Now, this is the next page. There's a lot that needs to happen here. Let's just start with this one. The first thing I need to do is fix all the anti-aliasing and stuff. All right, let's rasterize all these layers here. All right, now let's make a layer here. Let's make it black background so I can see what's going on. And now you can see all the mess that's here. We'll start with this table. So you see this table here has anti-aliasing all around it. So we're going to alpha lock that. Take this and make our way around this table, around the edges of it. We don't have that alpha lock. I mean that white halo around it. Okay, that's pretty good. And we'll just do this first because it's low hanging fruit. So the rocking one. We have some fragments here that we need to get rid of. Clean that up. I'm going to redo his bolts completely, so we don't really need to do anything about that. Let's shave off that a little bit. Get this head here in. And done. This page is actually going to have a fair amount of work from what I can see. It's 3 panels, but there's a lot that I've got to do to make this a better animation than what we're dealing with. Whoops, just knocked my mouse there. And I'm switching to more of a color hold on the top side of Rocking's, the light side of Rocking's line art, because I just think it makes it more interesting. I like to use color holds on my comic book art because it's not about the line work. To me, this is more about the overall totality of the picture. Looks like we have some fragments here. We'll just delete it off. And I think that's it for this Rocking for now. We'll come back to him. Goldstein, this is a guy. He's one of the villains of the story. Same thing. We're just going to fix all this anti-aliasing here. I did start the process to hire an illustrator. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll have to check that out. But it looks weird. Not an illustrator. Hire a sculptor. Excuse me. To sculpt my mech gorilla design. So I should have a full sculpt for that in the next several days, and I'll be able to make forward progress with that, which I'm pretty excited about. That'll be pretty sick. All right, that's the man, and this background, we're gonna have to improve it greatly. We'll do later, adding different trophies and such from. I'll recycle a previous background. Okay. Start with this table here. And let's just expand it a little bit. We'll use the polygon lasso tool, kind of bring it to something. There we go. All right, there's that. Turn this on and you can just move this whole thing right here. And this is an arm wrestling table. And it probably would go like this. Now there. Now let's see here. What the heck? Fine. Let's see here. Pull that in and get this done here. All right. We are in the thick of it. Let's just go here and I don't have to worry about staying in the lines. And we have a tabletop in place. Not bad. Let's merge all that together. All right, so there's the tabletop. I'm going to turn off this. It's just annoying. And let's extend the rest of this table so that we have a full table asset here. And then really we need to at some point start taking all these objects and putting them in an asset, archive file. So it's like, I'm building out the studio, like, oh, you need a table, here we go, we've got a table here, we've got this, we've got that. I'm working on it. When you're more or less a 1/2/3 man show, it's just sometimes hard to get it all done. I think that's going to go about there. This is going to go somewhere around here. And then we're going to lasso this. Okay, that's good. And let's fix this part. And let's just hit this with a little bit of an airbrush here to just kind of blend it together. All right, that's the tabletop done. Let's merge those. Save it. And these little errant lines here, I'm going to get rid of them because they are leftovers from the analog inking job that was done on this one. All right, that's taken care of. Okay, so now the question is, do we want to put legs on this table? Well, we have to put a shadow here. Similar to what we have over here. There we go. Those are the pegs that you hold for doing the arm wrestling. This is not the most accurate arm wrestling table ever done, but it'll be close enough, if you ask me. Why not? Let's build out some legs here. We can do some black legs here. Coming down. There. And we'll do one over here. This is all going to be out of frame, basically. But I'm just putting these in to give us some flexibility with this. What if the marquee tool would have been a better option for these legs? I guess it's all right. That one's not bad. All right, we are in the... what the heck? We're in the thick of this now. Something back there. And then we'll get something over here. All right, this leg is all whack. But let's just let's merge these legs together. And then the perspective of that would be something like this. For that side. And it doesn't really matter because this stuff, it's not going to be in the piece. It's going to be out of frame. I'm just doing this. Just doing this to give myself a little flexibility with the animation. Really, this would be here. And then that's going that way, so this would be more like that. Even that's off. I'm never gonna get it. It's just gonna keep. I'm just gonna keep chasing this thing forever. Close enough. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's out of frame. But we'll stick with that. Okay, so we've got the table done. All right, now we've got Raw King. And that's kind of where we're framing this up at anyway. So let's go with Raw King. And for Raw King, we got all kinds of stuff we need to do. So first, let's get these bolts fixed. And we'll just finish the first panel today. I'm getting a little bit burnt on this. So there. And then excuse me. Get that there. Uh, all right, there's his first bolt. Redid it. Get that done. I should have just closed this off and then selected the inside, expanded the selection, and filled it. But I didn't do it, so doing it this way. I'll do it that way on the second bolt. Got to do 2 bolts on all these rockings because that way it looks like it's pulsating. All right, that's pretty good. We'll delete this one off. That's bolt 1. Oh, wait. I haven't merged it all up yet, have I? Okay, so now we'll do bolt 2. So down a little bit. And bolt 2's got to be a different, slightly different shape. Now let's see if we can just close it off. There. Selection, modify, expand. That's too much. Selection, modify, expand. We just need to expand it by like 2 pixels. Then we'll go here. Go it. So that was a lot faster than the other way. So that's bolt 2. Okay, so now you can see 1 and 2. There's some movement there, though. There'll be some pulsation. Okay, we'll turn that off, and now let's get Rocky's head. I'm going to put this on its own layer and rig it so we can do something with it. Let's see, we've been going for an hour. Made some progress on all fronts, but I've got to get a little further on the animation rigs because my animator is standing by waiting for me to send him the next job. Now I do have stuff ready to go, but once he's completed that, I want to make sure that he's got the next thing rigged. Selection, inverse, and we'll delete off that head, and then you've got to go around. When you do that inverse technique, there's usually a halo of fragments left. You gotta delete those off. Okay, so we go here. This is Rocking head. Let's go ahead and complete his head. And it's not going to be much. We just got to make his skull come in. We'll put a layer up here. Pretty simple. Right there. And then match that. And we'll... another layer so I don't interfere with my line art. Drop that in there. That might be all I need to do. Is that right there? Whoa. Oh man. All right, there we go. Okay, so I see what we need to do. So let's get this here. And we'll get a little bit of shadow here. It would be permanently there and there. Okay, now we're good to go there. Now let's get let's get the body done. You know, we're gonna have that there and that coming up there. Turn off the head, and let's give ourselves some room to play with our movement. The question is, do I enjoy this? Do I enjoy this kind of like pick and shovel flipping stuff where we're just, you know, building out these rigs and not really drawing anything too sexy? I'm like taking necks and extending them so that things can articulate and stuff. Yes and no. I think it's not the most fun thing to do. You do lose interest a little bit. There is a challenge, a thinking challenge in it, you know, where you're like, you know, trying to figure out the best way to put these things together, because you're essentially kind of building out like a little puppet, you know, a two-dimensional puppet, but you are building a puppet, and that part of it is kind of fun, you know, it's kind of neat. And then on the other side of that coin, I think the more enjoyable part is when you actually see the thing in motion. Like when the real reward is when you've built this rig and then you actually get to see it animated, see it move and stuff. And that's where you're like, oh, it was worth it, man. It was worth sitting there and being slightly bored off my ass for all those hours while I'm extending necks and cropping heads and stuff, to see this thing, you know, come to life in the way that it does. Now it looks like we're gonna have to move that bolt. It is got to go in front, and so let's take care of that. Leave that off. Make sure the fragments are taken away. And I'm going to need to extend this neck. The bolt shouldn't really move much, but we want to make sure we don't have any gaps or anything. And yeah, I keep being reminded as I'm doing this that I am working over the top of the pencil art, which was originally done by Mike Witherby, who is no longer with us. And so I think about him when, you know, I'm working. It's like I'm spending time with him. It's like I'm spending time with a friend of mine that's passed away, because I'm working over his art again. And I haven't worked over his art since gosh, when I colored it. I hadn't colored this yet when he was alive. I had inked it and published it as a black and white version, and I colored it. And yeah, I was thinking about Mike a lot while I was coloring it. And now I tend to think about him more, because I know he would have really liked to have seen this animated. It would have really, he would have said, "Whoa, that's wild." He'd have been stoked. But yeah, when I'm working over Mike's work, that's Mike's thought process. That's there on the page. That's Mike's handwriting. That's, you know, that's Mike's personality that I'm engaged with again. It's kind of interesting how art has, you know, that ability to extend your ability. It extends your ability to interact with the world, with the physical world, after you've left, after you're gone. And Mike actually is doing that here, and he'll be interacting with the world in a much a new way that he never did before, because he never had any of his work animated. And now he did. He did do the adaptation, the comic book adaptation of Silverhawks, which was an animated show. in the olden days. So I think that works right there. That's pretty cool. I'll take it. Let's just go. I'm actually gonna go here because it's disappearing on me. There we go. All right. So that's the bolt. This is the coil. That's the, I'll just call that the Tesla coil. That's going to be there all the time. Bolt. Let's turn those bolts off. Got the head here. And if I were to articulate it, you know, if you put the pivot point somewhere around there, it absolutely works. So super stoked about that. Let's see here. We've got to do this arm. And I got to extend some stuff here. So let's go with, let's make a folder now. We'll have a rocking folder. Oops, what just happened? I just changed it red for some reason on accident. Doesn't matter. And we'll start putting all of Rocking's assets in the Rocking folder. So that it's all together. Okay, we'll turn that off. We don't need it right now. Yeah, let's get this bad boy cropped. There we go. Wand. What the hell? Why is it doing that? All right, that's what we wanted. Oops. What is going on here? All right, that's all deleted. And let's extend this now. There we go with that. That. That should probably be another asset right there because we can articulate more. I'll do that in a minute. Not there. We're gonna take this here like that. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's see here. Let's go back up to the lines. Finish it off. What? Okay. So that's that. Go there. We'll just kind of do that. Now we've got more of a complete arm back here. That's pretty cool. That works. So there we've got that arm all built out. Rocking's right there. The arm's going to go behind him. We've got to get the forearm done. here. There. That's it. We do that. Let's merge all this together. There we go. Now we gotta separate these two components as well. This is gonna be rocking body now. And we need to make sure the body is fine from where we cropped, and it actually looks just fine. I don't think I need to do much. Let's just kind of sharpen that up there. Sharpen and sharpen. It's about 3 hours a day what I really need to do. I mean, it's taking me an hour and 27 minutes. I'm still not done with this first panel. It'll probably take me 3 hours to do the first panel because I still have a whole nother character. But we'll get there. Let's extend this. I can extend this a bit. That's fine. Get this here. That just gives us some more room to play, you know. All right, that's better. Let's see if we can crisp this up a little bit here. There we go. All right, so we got that in. Now let's break the arm up. Okay. All right, that should take care of that. So now we've got the lower part of the extremity. Now we've just got to extend the upper extremity so they can be articulated. We'll do that. Thicken those up here. I think that works. So we've got the upper arm, all this, and the lower arm. So this will be, it's going to be on our left-hand side, so it's left, because we go by our left, our orientation, not the characters. Left, upper arm, left, lower arm. Okay, so that's it. So now we've got that can articulate much better. Now let's just like test it. Yeah, it's just fine. Okay, so that's all set up. Okay, so now what I want to do is let's extend this here so we have some room here as well. And then we still have to do is blink before it's done. So it's still like a lot to do to finish rocking. Coracobrachialis there. Bone there. And that will complete rocking here. Man, I just whipped those shapes out. Let me see here. Not bad. I mean, this arm's a little bit bulky, but it doesn't matter. It'll work just fine. Let's go here and start rendering in the color. It kind of made me do this a little bit. Ah. Just trying to get this thing. Nobody's really going to see back here, so is it really necessary that I do this? Not really, but it just gives us a little more flexibility for when we design the animation. Gives a little more flexibility with what we can do with the character. So that's why I'm spending the time to just.
Tracy says, "Hey, bud."
What's up, Jay? How's things going, man? You still streaming all your gaming and stuff? Let's see here. That one's done. Get that done.
J. Andrews Tracy says, "Good, I'm moving to Illinois and yet I'm a top batch over on Meet."
That's rad, dude. How come you're moving to Illinois? All right, getting this done there. That's enough.
J. Andrews Tracy says, "Met a girl, lol."
Right on, dude. Well, that should be good, man. You've been up in Bakersfield, right? Is that where you were last time I checked in on you?
J. Andrews Tracy says, "Unfortunately, lol, I'm in Bakersfield now."
Yeah, isn't there like a fire going on over there right now by Bakersfield? Like, I think near the Grapevine, it's like everything's burning down. I mean, it's been balls hot lately.
J. Andrews Tracy says, "I didn't hear about that, but I'll check it out for sure."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a fire. Could be out by now, but it was by the freeway. I just drove down from Northern California like 2 days ago, and I had me not go to the I-5. I had to drive like across. I drove through Bakersfield, but I drove crossed over to like now I don't remember the name of the spot. I mean, it was we were above Lancaster, over to Mojave, California City, Mojave City, $395, and then that goes down to Victorville or something like that. All right, let's go here.
J. Andrews Tracy says you should have hit me up.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're ready to get out of Bakersfield then. I think that's enough for this guy. Now I just got to do his blinking. So I should extend him a little more. I need a drink. I'll be right back.
J. Andrews Tracy says Central California is a hellhole.
Well, yeah, I mean, the deserts out there in Central California are pretty brutal. It's not bad during the wintertime. All right, gonna get the blink done on this guy. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's see how that goes. That's enough.
J. Andrews Tracy says be right back.
All right, dude. I'll be here for a little while still. Let's see here. Blink done. Now I'm going to extend this guy's legs and stuff so that if I want to pan down at some point, we really won't need to pan down, but that was the framing of the shot before. But just give me a little bit more flexibility. At least I almost have Rocky done. Then we've got this guy, Goldstein, which, let me see here. I'm going to have to fix that. It's all whack. Make him a little smaller. All right. So let's get the legs of Rocky put in here. I'm actually going to put the table on because that might help me design this where it's supposed to be in relationship to the other environmental or other objects that are in the environment. I think that's all we're going to need right there is like, whoops. Put it right there. Whoa. I think we just keep it simple. A little rendering there on the muscle. I mean, we don't really need much. There, that's enough. Let's move this table out of the way for the other leg, which would be not there. Be like that. Yeah, that's enough. Let's flat this under. And let's flat this out. Okay. There. Actually, I'm gonna extend some of this here. That's pretty good. Did that? No, that's pretty shitty there. What the hell is that? There we go. Now let's pull on some stuff here. A little highlight action in here. That's probably all it needs. It's gonna be enough. A little weird looking, not the best. I mean, we really don't need it though, so I'm not gonna spend more time on that. Get the body done. Put the table back in. And the scene's got to cut right here anyway, so there'll be nothing really beyond that. Do I need to draw his hand? Probably should, you know. If you want to extend this a little bit, might be a good idea. Now I have the option to kind of place Rocky here, which is better. I'm going to extend his hand. It's like, we've got to have something there. Just, I know I'm going to need that extra shot space. I can widen the shot, especially for the landscape version, for the cinematic version. It'll open it up so I can have that wider angle. Good. So we're gonna draw a hand. Plus, you know, it's good to draw hands. I drew some this morning to warm up. We need to draw more of them. So let's do it. Let's get a gesture for it because I don't know how I'm going to pose it. I want it to look kind of relaxed. Maybe a thumb here. Finger, finger, finger. Something like that would be just fine. So I'll construct it out a little more. There's a thumb, the interosseous muscle. The knuckle here, just kind of finger coming down, middle finger kind of coming down there, the ring finger here, and we'll have his pinky out there. And I think that'll work. Let's see. Might be like a little too much forearm on him. Let's change this to a white now, so I don't have to look at that checkered background anymore. I'm gonna manipulate that leg a little bit too. If we go to Rakeen's body, it's a little weird looking here. It should be coming out more. Anyway, let's draw this hand first, and then we'll fix his legs so that they look more natural. Okay, so let's go up here, brush back to this color here. That works. Kind of get some tendons and stuff in it. And I think that's it. You don't need to do more than that. Let's delete off the layout. Let's make a layer. Let's flat it down. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Put some anti-aliasing in here. We got to get rid of that. All right, let's fix this up here. All right, most of that hands in shadow. That's pretty good. Take this. A little highlight there and there. Pop one in here, a little something there. A little something there. That's it. I'm good with that. Now we just got to fix his legs. So oops, it's on you. What happened here? Did I reconnect that all? All right, so at some point I undid that. Me. Sideways. So I have to redo all that. Because I don't know where down the line that happened. But somewhere down the line I merged it all up. So I'll have to redo it. I should have put it in a folder inside here. All right, let's fix these legs and then we'll redo the arm. Now, part of the reason why there's a problem too is this arm's too small compared to that arm, but I'll fix it all. Let's fix this first. Let's go here. Turn that off. What the hell? Let's go to black. So here it's gonna be out like that. I think that's all it needs. If I go like this, here. Let's try this over again. If I follow this line down like that, crotch is there, that's there. That's there, that's there, that's there. This is going to come out there like that. Can have it do that. Do that. That's all we got. That's all we got to do. So, get that right. Pretty much just going to leave what I have. It'll work just fine. Fill that in. Fill that in. Should be darker though. Yeah, it's fine. Now I just got to fix that arm. His knees are down here. Like, we haven't got to the knees yet. You know, that's important to understand. As far down as we got to go. All right. Let's fix that arm. All right, let me see what we got here. Turn off this guy. And we got to redo this all over again. All right, now this one. We'll redo it. There we go. All right. Hopefully that's better. Gosh, man. Okay. All right, there we go. That. And I need a. Take that in there. Bring that across. There we go. Where is this thing? All right, what do we got here? Get this thing finally done. And pulling that together a little bit. That's better. Looking okay there. A little too light there. It's good enough. Okay, so got that all fixed up. Um, Now I got to separate these two components out. It's weird that I lost it because it would have been put behind his body. So I don't know how I accidentally deleted that, what I did before. All right, got that done. So Joaquin lower arm. No, this is going to be left. And then for this one, left upper arm. All right, that's pretty good there. Now, body on top. Now we got to make this arm proportional to the character, which it is not right now. Let's go like this and go. Humps a little, but what I actually need to do is kind of extend that down. Pull this back a little bit. And then this hitches in right about there. Now that can be like that. And looks more proportioned correctly now. I'll fix this a little bit. Should go more like this. Less likely I'll delete that now. And just because I'm a completionist, I'm just gonna do this. Whoops. What do I need to do about this? Fix my shapes here. Yeah, that'll work. That's enough. Some weird stuff here. This. I think it's okay. Let's go. Maybe I should be there. We'll do that. Now we got a tangent happening though. So that works. All right, there we go. That's done. Let's save that. Rocking's done. The table is done. I see the problem with Rocking's leg. It's not in perspective on this side. So I'm going to fix it. More like that. Now I put the table in there. It's more in perspective with what the table is and all that. We can even kind of move the table down a little bit there. It works. And now we've got this guy here, who is actually the height he should be now. And we can move him. Let's close Rocking. Should be more here. We can kind of put him over there more. These guys have a little bit. I mean, I like them being that close. It's not bad, but put him right there. All right, so now we need to extend this dude out. And to do that, first of all, he's not that narrow. His waist is not that narrow, so that should be all locked in like that. Switch to the airbrush. Alright, that's more like it. Alright, let's go here. This is not working. Let's just kind of construct it out here. See where he would be. That's more like it. Um, that's it. This arm maybe is a little bit much. There we go. That'll do it. Ay, ay, ay. Turn rocking off. We've been going for 2 hours and 28 minutes. Back in the grind. But let's get this character done. Let's get things moved and progressed forward even further than where we are at.
Sahamandal 8925 says you twin remember me?
Remember you. No. Not sure. Where do I know you from? You gotta remind me. Let's just block this down.
Sahamandal 8925 says I was watching your stream the other day.
Oh yeah, now I remember. How things going? I haven't streamed in a little while because I was up in Montana and I didn't have
Sahamandal 8925 says Nasi, by the way, great art as always.
Thanks. Appreciate you telling me that. Let's see. Pop some stuff in there.
Sahamandal 8925 says how is life going, my man?
Not too bad. I was up in Montana at my sister's cabin for the last like 3 weeks. And I had not that much internet, so I haven't been live for a while. But I'm back home now. And so I can get online again and stuff, finally. And then got some conventions and stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Next weekend, I'll be at IchigoCon. It's in Oxnard, California, which is kind of by Ventura. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff lined up after that that'll keep me busy. So in the meantime, I'm just back on the grind trying to get the cartoon done and the comics finished and stuff like that. Try this way. Yeah. That's pretty much it there.
Sahamandal 8925 says hell ye, glad to know you have your hands full, you motivate me, twin.
Oh, good. Well, I'm stoked to hear that. What have you been working on? Oops. Oops. All right.
Sahamandal
Let's see here.
8925 says, I have been working on this story but can't seem to really finish it. I keep running out of motivation, and when I see your videos I get my impetus back.
Okay, so you've got a story you've been working on, and it sounds like you're pretty far through it. I don't know how far you are because you're saying you can't finish it, so I'm assuming you're pretty far through it and you're just in the last, portion of stuff you need to do to get it finished. Sometimes finishing the project is the hardest thing about it, and because you lose some of the steam. Starting is easy usually because you have a lot of steam and a lot of excitement over it, and then as you get further and further into it, it can get harder to keep going. But finishing it, it's the most important stage to get it finished. But you at that point you could be sick of looking at it, you could be bored of it, it could come down to just pick and shovel stuff. So pick and shovel stuff is like the analogy that you use for work, where it's maybe not that exciting to do. It's just like, flattening a page or adjusting their colors or formatting for printing. All that kind of stuff is like the less fun part of making a comic book or a story or something. But it's like you have to do it or figure out, how to get it done. Maybe you could hire somebody to do it, but then it's going to cost you more money to make your comic. So, but yeah, anything you can do to finish it, just start doing it. Even if it's just like, okay, every day you're just gonna make progress on one piece. Just move one piece of the project forward. Eventually it will get done. It's just process, and the process is what you're going to rinse and repeat day after day after day. Rinse and repeat, and that stacks up over time, and then you'll have a huge body of work finished if you can rinse and repeat your process over and over again. Even if your process is 45 minutes a day or whatever you can do, whatever you can make time for, whatever you can find a opportunity to do some work, that's it. That's not it. There we go. That's the color that I want.
Sahamandal 8925 says it's a magic realistic piece, so the order is quite messy and kinda bunts, but then when I need to find the bits and pieces I see your art and it gives me a sense of order. Helped me a lot figuring out.
Okay, so it's a Magic realistic piece. So that means it's like Magic the Gathering type. Is that what you mean? Type style of artwork where it's more realistic, which just means it's going to be more time consuming. The order is messy and kind of burns, but when I need to find the bits and pieces. Okay. All right, let's just flat out the rest of this.
Sotamandal 8925 says no, it's like satire and realism but with hyperbolic elements much like Gabriel Garcia's work or Narcos.
Okay. Satire and realism, hyperbolic elements. Let me see here. Okay, so it's like the Narcos TV show with satire and realism, hyperbolic elements. I mean, it sounds like
Sotamandal
pretty interesting.
8925 says yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're working on something pretty unique then. And but it sounds like what you're saying that it's messy. So when you mean by it's messy, it's like your process is messy, like the way you work through a piece. It's like you do it differently every time, or I'm not totally certain what you mean. But if you get motivation from watching me work or just seeing other people doing their stuff, then that might be all. That might be the right way to go. Because it's whatever can get you over the finish line. That's what matters right now at this point.
Sotamandal 8925 says the narrative is extremely non-linear, it jumps perspectives, that's why it's messy, lol.
Okay, so it's like the story moves around a lot. It's non-linear, so you've got that's kind of cool though. That's got to keep it fun. Where are we at? This arm is way too small, but I'll fix that in a minute. I think I'm getting close enough on this. Some more sheen up here. But I don't even know what I colored on top of.
Sotamandal 8925 says it's like when you paint, you complete the painting in an order, suppose from head to hands or from body to the other parts.
Ah, okay. So when you complete a painting, you'll start.
Sahamandal 8925 says, but if the order is turned, the piece becomes far less intriguing.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah, I know a guy that like he would always paint so like the way I was taught to paint was like to bring the whole thing up together. So it was like kill all the white and put in depends if it was watercolor, you know, you put in some flat tones and but you preserve your highlights, you paint all your lightest colors first, then paint your darkest colors and build the whole thing up as you go. I know another guy that painting like that was too boring for him. He wanted to see something finished every time he sat down, so he would like start on the head and like finish the head, and then he would do the neck and finish the neck, and then he would work down and do the next piece and the next piece and go through it. And for him, psychologically, seeing something get finished every single time, it was like more rewarding for him, and it helped him get through the work. But it sounds like your process is more like maybe the first one I described, where you're bringing every different elements up all over the place, not finishing one section, and so you don't get that reward of seeing a finished thing every time you sit down to work. And then it's like maybe it can be a little harder to keep going. Let's see, let's get this color on. I think that's going to be enough. Let's go with... this guy there. I should have cleaned this up before I merged it all down, but I didn't, so just deal with it now. Now I'm going to adjust this guy's body. More like that. It's like really short and stocky. That's fine. Okay, now let's get this arm the correct size and everything. What we'll do is crop it here. Delete that off. Alright, so now I got the arm on its own layer. It's gonna have to go behind there, but let's just kind of finish this out. Yeah, what else are we doing on this? That's looking okay. Let's see what we got here. Put it behind there. Oops. Yeah, I think it's fine if I put it back there. Okay, so that's good. Now I just got to extend it. Pull it through there. That'll work. Let's get up here a little bit. I think that's enough. I think that'll work fine. Can use a soft brush and kind of blend this a little bit. It's a little more cohesive back there now. I think that's it. So that one should be fine. That's on our right-hand side, so it'll be right arm. I'm just gonna make it bigger. That should about do it right there. And now if we pivot this thing, you know, you can be wagging it like that. We put rocking back into the scene. It's really close, but that's why we will let's write this guy in, Goldstein. Let's put him in here. Let's see, Goldstein Bond. All right, we're getting there. Let's move him back a little bit. He can be right there. Now the characters don't even have to overlap, which is better. And they're kind of like that. And we've got to put a blink on Goldstein. We've got to put I could make it so we can move his jaw up and down. I think that would be kind of funny. So we'll do that. And then the background, I'll do the background tomorrow. Background's going to be extended with the scene, so we'll have a whole way better scene than what we had before. So let's pull his head off so we can do the jaw movement. Pull this up a little bit. Boom. All right, so we got the head there. We don't really need to make changes yet to that, but to the body, we've got to kind of extend things here. Let's go with this one. Maybe. Well, no, I don't know what that line is. Do that. This whole area here, I'll just fill it black. That's good there. Not matching up. There we go. Let's get this done. Go with the airsoft brush. There we go. That works. Maybe 20%. That's cool. All right, so that's done. Head is here. Let's separate the jaw so we can move the mouth a little bit. So we're gonna go here. I'm trying to decide here. What do we want to have move?
Sahamandal 8925 says, Sam, what's your favorite art style?
Well, I don't know. Oh, my favorite art style, man. I like so many different things that it's hard to nail it down to one. But the stuff I like, man. I mean, I appreciate so many different types of art. My least favorite is probably like the hyper realistic stuff. Where it'll look like hyper realistic being like you'll see these guys, they'll draw stuff with like colored pencils or whatever, and it'll look like almost like the photograph. Because at that point I don't understand why not just take a photo. So that's probably like what I don't like, but I mean, I love everything else though. It just depends, like inking, painting, and in the genre. So when it comes to cartooning, probably my favorite is like Sergio Aragones. I like a lot. I like a lot of the golden age of animation stuff. Chuck Jones, all the old stuff from there. I think that's gonna work. Just that. When it comes to comic books and stuff, it's like probably some of my favorite stuff would be like Hal Foster, who did like he did like the newspaper strips in the early 1900s. Tarzan. He did what was the other stuff he did? Prince Valiant. I mean, he was like a classically trained illustrator that was doing comic strips and stuff, and it looked really good. His composition's really good. His drawings like really strong. His backgrounds, his perspective is solid. Like, so I like stuff like that. As far as like, do I like a messy style versus a tight style or whatever? You know, I can appreciate all of it. You know, like something really abstract versus something that's as long as it like works and it's consistent, I'll buy into it. When you see something and it's like messy and abstract as a result of a lack of skill, I don't really like it as much. But when you see it and you can see there's skill behind it and there's decision making involved, then I totally dig it, no problem. And you know, I like inking a lot. I like and there's a lot of digital art I like too. I like
Sahamandal 8925 says, can you draw me or describe me what image does a spineless birdman incite in you?
What image does a spineless birdman incite in me? That would be crazy. So I would need to come up with like some kind of a birdman that has no spine. A drawing of that. Can you draw me or describe me what does a spineless birdman? Hey, do you want to go? Okay, do you want to go with a cartoon style with that spine, or a more horror looking thing, or more what is the trajectory of this spineless birdman? Like, which direction do you want it to go? You want it to look really chaotic, or do you want it to look like a tight, you know, drawing like you'd see like Jim Lee or somebody do?
Sahamandal 8925 says, whatever it incites in you, I want what your heart sees.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll just do what I want. Let me see here. I think that's good. I mean, we could go. I'll extend it a little more. As soon as I do this, I'm gonna be done, but I'll try to draw a spineless birdman. Although it's gonna be... I don't really know what a birdman looks like. I'd have to make it up. It would just be what it would be limited to what's in my imagination right now at this time. Which is fine. All right, that's it. So Goldstein, lower jaw. Let's see here.
Sahamandal 8925 says, don't sweat it, just your spontaneous imagination will do.
All right, let's give it a shot. So that's done. So for this page, we got...
Sahamandal 8925 says, this slide is so good.
Thanks. Got Goldstein done. Oh, he doesn't have a blink though. Rocking's done, and he's got his blink there. Table's there. So I gotta put a blink on Goldstein. Then I'll draw this. I'll draw the spineless birdman. but it'll take me not even a couple of minutes to draw this guy blinking. Whoops.
Sahamandal 8925 says the man in blue suit looks like Armstrong.
Who's Armstrong? Yeah, this guy in the blue suit, he's a bad guy. And he's got some nefarious stuff up his sleeve right now. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Now he's got a blink.
Sahamandal 8925 says, do you know Senator Armstrong?
No. I'll look him up. Let me see here. Senator Armstrong.
Sahamandal 8925 says it's from a game and has a famous dialogue, Nanomachine Son.
Oh yeah, I see this guy. Yeah, I can see where the resemblance is. He's like kind of a buff guy. That let me look at the images. It's got like a tie and stuff. He's got like short, stubby arms. Yeah, I can see the resemblance. Yeah, this guy Goldstein, he's supposed to be short. He's supposed to be a short, stocky guy, like a really short fuse. All right, let me save this. That's it for. I still have to do the background, but I'm doing that tomorrow. I got to fix this background, expand it, because this was just a small panel in a comic book. Save. Let's go. File new. I guess this is fine. Let's see what this is. Maybe canvas size. It's like only a couple inches. Let's go like 9 by 12. All right. What just happened? Okay. All right, let's see if I can draw a spineless Birdman really quick. Let's go to black. Let me think here. Let's see, a Birdman. I'm thinking of something. It's gonna look like something like this. Start roughing it in. I'm going with a big beak. It's gonna attach like that. I have no idea what kind of bird this is. It's just made up. We'll go with a big brow on it like that. Nostrils here. Something there. Okay, now let's see here. Let's put some crazy freaking feathers on him. Coming up almost like flames because he's spineless. So he has no spine. He's just gonna have like a flipping flame spine. Beak might have to be enhanced. Let's design the rest of his head here. Put some detail going up like that. And these freaking flaming feathers flying everywhere. Now things are going to get more ethereal. Maybe as we come out this way. Alright, let me think. He's a bird man, so we got to get a body on him. Let's do, and he's spineless, so he's not going to have a strong, structured body. He's going to have a more, let's see, something like this. Let me just get a gesture here for where it would go. Yeah, that'll work. There. Okay. So here's where we're going with this. Put the kneecap in right there. And then that'll be like the front of the fibula. And he is a birdman, so we've got to kind of keep him slender. So I guess there is some bony structure to this part of him. We'll bring that in there. All right, now let's do a foot. We got to make this foot look bird-like, so we'll do a big talon down here. Another talon. I don't know if these are talons or claws or whatever you call them, but put them on there like that, something there. Coming up here. And attaching on. I think 3's fine. All right, so there we go. That's going to be that leg. Now this leg, I'm going to get some feather stuff here. Coming out like that through the back. This leg's going to be coming together there. Bony there. Protuberance. Something happening. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. Get these claws in here. And let's kind of get some kind of a muscle there. Get a little bit more meat on that drumstick. So somebody would actually eat his legs if they wanted to make him into a stew. All right. And he's spineless, so we're going to just freaking feather him out into, I don't know, maybe we'll just make him on fire or something. Let me see here. I don't know if this is going to look cool or not. So I'm making it up as I go. I don't like that, so let's erase. Let's erase this part. Oops. Forgot that one doesn't work. Let's go to this one. All right. Let's see. Where are we with this guy? Let's move our way into these shoulders here. Or into the wings. And that'll inform kind of the body more. And I kind of ran out of room on the page, but that's all right. We'll fix it. And that's almost looking not feathery enough. I mean, if we wanted to make this into feathers, we'd have to start layering them up, which we can do. Well, let's pay attention to this and kind of layer it out. Now we'll go in with some more line weights and stuff in a minute to establish our forms.
8925 says, what if we add hands as in palms instead of feathers?
Hands as in palms instead of feathers?
Says like the wings are made up of palms.
Okay, yeah, so the wings are made up of like the palms of hands. That would be wild. Let's do it. So, getting this weird body going. Okay, so I already drew all those feathers, so I'm just going to leave them. But we'll get on this wing here. We'll make it like the palms of hands. So, something like that. And like fingers and stuff too, or just the palms of hands? So I could attach fingers and thumbs and stuff.
Sotamandal 8925 says fingers would be cool.
Yeah, because if I just do the palms of the hands, it'll look just like kind of like a bony thing. But if we kind of start making some kind of hands here. So there we go. Let's get this thumb. Try not to erase because I don't want to worry about it too much. But there's one hand. Let's do another one. Okay. Now we'll do this one here. Going this way. There we go. That's actually looking kind of cool because it's super weird. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The only problem is it's not being planned, so I'm going to have to kind of figure out how to resolve the upper, if we have palms up here. Maybe we'll bend the fingers. Well, we can just keep the fingers extended, like, out. And that's kind of okay. Just have to overlap a little bit. something there. Better define this guy's beak a little bit better. Let's fix this. That'll work well. That'll work enough. Got to get some more hands in here. Now this will just be textured, kind of coleslaw. Now let me see here. What are we gonna do to get the rest of these wings done? Just lay it out here like this. That thumb is whack. Let's fix that. It's not great, but it's gonna be enough.
Sahamandal 8925 says it's like 1245 at night in India here but draw. Sahamandal 8925 says art is all worth it.
Oh, thanks, man. So you're over in India and it's 12:45 in the morning, like at night. It's let's see, I'm in California. It's 12:16 in the middle of the day here. So that means we are
Sahamandal
basically
8925 says yes.
Yeah, so we're basically on the opposite sides of the world, on the opposite sides of the time zones, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it must be getting late and you probably must be getting tired, but I'm glad that you're enjoying this enough. Let's get a few more hands in here. I mean, that's a weird looking appendage that he has coming off of him. And I think I've got to figure out a way to resolve this so that it does something. What I'll do is a few more this way. There's a thumb, some kind there. You get like feathers flying out or some kind of material coming off of him here. And
Sahamandal 8925 says, man, I could go without sleep if I get to see your art process, damn.
well, thanks, dude. That's nice of you to tell me that. Maybe one day we'll turn this into a fully worked out illustration. And like, cause right now this is like kind of a sketch. But one day we'll like resolve it and make it really highly tuned in. And it'd be like this weird spineless Birdman with, and we'll make this wings all hands too. And then it'll be like this weird.
Sahamandal 8925 says, you conjured that shit up right off the top of your head. Sahamandal 8925 says, you are a magician.
Yeah, man, it's just drawing stuff, I draw lots of hands. Like I've been drawing a lot of hand studies and drawing anatomy, and just more things you look at, draw and everything, then the more you'll have the ability to kind of just make stuff up like this. That's how I was able to do it, you know. I wasn't able to do this my whole life. Like I had to just practice like everybody else to get to where I can, somebody be like, make a spineless Birdman with wing hands. But I like the idea you came up with. It's very creative and highly unusual, and so it's kind of cool. Let's see. Let's just finish this one here, and this wing will be the wing with feathers, and maybe something's happened, like some kind of a demon or something's like possessed this bird.
Sahamandal 8925 says, I have another little challenge for you after you finish.
All right, well, I don't know how much longer I can stay on, but tell me the challenge, and we'll see if I can do it, because I've got to go pretty soon. What do you have in mind? So I'm just gonna stick that with that for that wing, and then this wing, it needs to come up here, but we'll keep doing the hands. That's not a good hand. For this hand, we need a cool looking hand for.
Sahamandal 8925 says, I want you to make it as close to a human as possible without making drastic modifications.
Your next idea. Well, tell me what it is, and it would be as close to human as possible. What would this be? I'm curious to know what you have in mind. That might be an interesting way to design it next time, is if I made the hands like spiraling around each other somehow. And like grabbing onto each other.
Sahamandal 8925 says, remember the story I told you about this as a character.
Okay. Uh, tell me, when did you tell me this story? Today, or was it another day?
Sahamandal 8925 says also, can you sign the pic after you finish? I wanna take a screenshot for reference.
Yeah, sure. I'll sign it and you can take a screenshot.
Sahamandal 8925 says, no, the magic realism story I was telling you, Abd.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yes. So the character you were telling me about in that story was like something like from Narcos or something like that. The girl from Narcos, is that what it was, or something else?
Sahamandal 8925 says, I have a really good chance at Oxford Publications publishing it if I complete the story, so I needed this drawing as a reference. Thank you so much. Sahamandal 8925 says, I followed you on Instagram.
Okay, cool, man. I'll put this drawing on Instagram too. Later today. And glad it helped you then. And that'd be great if you get your if you got published at Oxford. Man, that'd be pretty cool. All right, I think I'm gonna go in with a thicker pen now and just kind of define stuff. And then I'm gonna call this one done for now. I'm wondering if it would look good if let me put a layer over the top of this and see what it looked like if I went over the outline of the palms of hands for wings.
Sahamandal 8925 says, here's a pretty interesting fact, Abd magic realism pieces.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me the fact. That I would like to know it.
Sahamandal 8925 says, in such stories the insignificant is significant and vice versa.
Yeah, it's a real mind bender when they do that to you, huh? It's kind of cool though, isn't it?
Sahamandal 8925 says, suppose if you meet this bird it's nothing, but if you catch a cold it's a world-ending situation.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the lore that you're coming up with behind this bird.
Sahamandal 8925 says thank you for spending your precious time helping a student figure himself out, man. Sahamandal 8925 says, I can't express in words how much it means to me.
Oh, cool, man. Well, I had fun doing this, so I'm glad it helped you out. All right, I think I'm going to stop it there. Later, let me sign it. Oh, hold on. It's a little bit too big. Let me make that signature a little bit smaller so it doesn't impose so much. Whoa. What the heck, man? Put it right there. It kind of fits better. Maybe there. Yeah, right there is good.
Sahamandal 8925 says pose after you sign to lol.
Yeah, let me see here. What do I need to do? Make it a little smaller? That's probably too small, yeah. Or I'll make one bigger so you can see this. You might be able to stitch it together. There's the top and bottom, and then I'll lower it, and then you can get the
Sahamandal 8925 says it's cool.
And then there's that part of it. So you can get that part. And then you got the whole thing. And I better save this. File, save as. Let's put it in here.
Sahamandal 8925 says love you, man.
Man.
Sahamandal
man.
8925 says when will you stream next?
Tomorrow. I don't know the exact time that I'll be going tomorrow, but I'm back home, so I'll be streaming every day. Export this as a JPEG. I'll post it on the Instagram, and then that way, you know what I'll do? That way you can also screenshot it there too. I'm gonna go like this. Take that so that it's for Instagram it's more squared off. Export as a JPEG. Put all the way up. I don't know where it's putting it. Oh, okay, yeah, put it on the desktop. All right. That's gonna do it for today. It is good talking to you. What should I call you, man? I remember I tried to say your name before, and because it's Indian, I totally messed it up.
Sahamandal 8925 says call me Saham.
Soham or Sawham? I'll look it up. I'll look up the pronunciation for Soham, and then I'll have
Sahamandal 8925 says Sauham.
Oh, Soham. Soham. All right, Soham. Good talking to you, man. I'll make sure the pronunciation's right too, so I can do it. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna cut the stream now. And I hope you have a good sleep.
Sotamandal 8925 says, yes.
All right.